Greetings everybody and welcome to a brand new vlog. We're at Shepton Mallet prison, a location I last visited some 6 or 7 years ago. There's a link to the original video in the box below, but yeah, this is supposedly the UK's oldest prison, and I think it closed down in 2013. I'll have to fact check myself there with a comment in on screen, but yeah, it's good to be back. I'm here with Jordan, I'm here with Kurt. So we're just going to take our time and explore. So here we are now on one of the outer courtyard. We're about to work our way into the prison itself. And in 1625 there were two smaller prisons here, and the Cornwall and the Mallet. And then this site superseded them. 7 executions of inmates were carried out here, and it was on the last sites in Gloucestershire to still carry out public executions. In World War II it was a military prison, and held some US servicemen who were hung here, probably for desertion and other crimes carried out while in Britain or while in service. And most famously of all, the Cray twins had a brief stay here. So yeah, there's lots of history in this place, and let's go and discover it together. Right, so let's get these steps done. Lovely door solo there. So we're in part of the wheelhouse, which has been set up as an infirmary of sorts. And of course, a lot of prisoners back in the day, in the 1800s, anaesthesia was still in its infancy. So basically, a lot of the time you had to bite down on something and hope for the best, and a lot of prisoners died, and there's like 46% of prisoners who had to go through a procedure of amputation ended up dying or bleeding out on a table, and they would cauterize wounds with boiling oil and things like that. It's pretty grim. And of course, conditions such as smallpox and other diseases are common in prisons because everybody's in a cramped environment. Yeah, it was a grim time, but if you can't do the time, then don't do the crime. Stay in school, kids. As usual, I've gone the wrong way. So let's head into the security office. I say, arrested for crimes against decency. So we're now in a mock-up of the security station that was once here. Pretty cool. Right, so now in the old gate lodge. So we're going to take a look at the old 1600 cell. Through this hall we discover a small room believed to be an original cell, 400 years old. On the left side there is a barred window. Peer through and you'll see more of these hidden cells. Wish to crawl inside, please note the following. You'll crawl through on your hands and knees. Alright. Crikey. Don't fancy crawling in there with all my stuff on. Maybe get the rest of the lads and we can do it as a team. Right, I didn't call the lads, I decided to crawl through myself through that tiny little opening down there. I'm in one of the original cells from the 1600s. It's a very cramped space, as you can see. We do have the remains of, I believe, where the chains would have hung down to keep people obviously like confined during inspections or whatever. But the cool thing is, these cells are stacked together. You have the prop arm in cell number 3, but yeah, there's 4 of these cells here, one next one over, the one with a hand, and even one beyond that. So yeah, they were very, very small cells for back in the day, very cramped. So imagine being in here for about 24 hours at a time, and pitiful existence really, isn't it? But here we go. Now I'm going to try and exit gracefully. It was difficult getting in here with all my gear, but I made it alive. So yeah, onwards to the next room. Then like the gatekeeper's part, and these are the old doors that we used at the time. And just beyond that door is the main street of Shepton Mallet. So now we're going to take a walk up to the gatekeeper's lodge. Mad to think your house is directly across here, across the road. Wow. Focus, camera, focus. There we go. So this site was originally going to be torn down for housing, but a group of people came together and saved it, which is good to see. Saving history, because otherwise it will be lost and we won't learn from it. Right, we're at the top of the gatekeeper's lodge. I'm 6'2", and I gotta say, there's not much clearance on my head. So yeah, I don't know where the other two are gone. We've just split up and done our own thing. They've probably gone to the, straight to the main cell blocks, but I'm taking my time, slow and methodical, doing my own thing. Look, an old world kind of tango. Right, now to head back downstairs and find my way into a wing. So we are in the governor's office. It's seen better days. So this is where the man who ran the prison would do his daily duties. So, can't go up them stairs, they're locked. And here we are now in the prison exercise yard. Yeah, here we are in B wing at Shepton Mallet. So look at what a typical cell will look like here. They did tell us, they did say as we got tickets, don't use the toilets in the cells. I'm not going to. You're alright. Prison washroom. I'm not going to do the joke because it's overdone, but you probably know the one I'm thinking about. This is how one of the cells would look like from like the modern era before it closed, like 2013. So there were electrical sockets installed in the cells in the 1990s, but they only had one socket, so they had to make a choice of like watching a TV or boiling a kettle. That's pretty much what I gleaned from there. 3 British military personnel died here. In 1941, carbon monoxide poisoning from a locked cell because their ventilation shaft was blocked with leaves, and the gas lamp, they used up the oxygen, which is a sad way to go really. Yeah, locked up every day, unlocked every day from 7:30 and put back in at 8, and this is the largest wing in Shepton Mallet, and it could house 94 people in single cells, but prior to 2001 it could house a lot more. Now, there was a TV show in 2020 called Dares about killer Dennis Nielsen from 1983, like the cannibal, and this was the cell that was used by the production crew, David Tennant and all, from that show. And now still outside the prison shower room, another one. So, cubicles for 6. Again, I'm not going to do the joke, but you know the one I'm talking about. Oh yeah. Don't know why I was just thinking about that. I thought, where are the drains? So there's like one drain in this whole shower room? Doesn't make sense, does it? Then again, I'm not a prison architect. You can probably hear Kurt in the background. Jordan was also in this block as well. But yeah, it's eerie walking this place. There are other people on site, because we were first in, but there were a couple of families behind us. I don't know where they are, because the site really isn't that big. So perhaps they thought, oh, I'm not paying that, and walked away. But it's only, what was it, 15 quid for entry? It's brilliant in this day and age. You're getting great value for money. Not every day you can take your time walking around what used to be one of Britain's busiest prisons. And allegedly one of its most haunted. But as I said in my New Year's video, I'm still not convinced about anything at the minute with it all. There's too much fakery going on, not enough honesty. We're doing our best to get the ball rolling with Forsaken, but it's just one obstacle after another. But that's for another video. But let's enjoy this moment, shall we? Forsaken will return when, I don't know. Paint peeling, Silent Hill vibes. So a small little kitchen, I assume this was. Food prep area. That's where we were earlier when we came out to the guardhouse block, because there's the exercise yard. Alright, let's go up to the top. Nice little cabinet there, space for hanging shirts, a few shelves, etc. And you got your toilet around the corner, sink, shelf, and here is, as I alluded to earlier on, the one and only electrical socket. Choices had to be made. Nice bit of artwork there. A random carpeted room, there's no plaque to designate what it actually was. That's why it took my attention. That's what carved it wrong. I'm thinking it's got to be like a staff area, just for like the general quality in this area. I mean, it's bloody dark, mind. I don't want to work in here or live in this bit, but needs must, I suppose. Another little kitchenette there. Alright, now we're in A. Make up your mind. Right, I assume what we walked through was D wing, and now we're into A wing. Right, so as you can see, A wing is the smaller wing in Shepton Mallet. Gives me those Shrewsbury prison vibes. With we did like a ghost hunt many moons ago. There we are. Alright, I shouldn't laugh at this, but this scene is, I'm deliberately not showing you it, because it is funny. This scene depicts a mother and two daughters. One of them is very ill in bed with jail fever at the time. But I just got to look at the proportions of this figure. As soon as I saw that. Incredible. So it's gone back to how it would have been in all the times. I'm trying to figure out whether this is trying to be a recreation of a prison or of one of the transportation ships, because there is a plaque next to this wall talking about transportation on ships that use that for prisoners, such as stealing minor things, bread and all that, just to keep alive, because obviously there were problems back in the day. But yeah, that's probably the best cell here. Okay, now we're in the cell, which has a lot about the suffragettes behind bars, and unfortunately, yeah, the Votes for Women Act, a lot of them were arrested and brought to prison. This one is being force-fed, I believe. It's mad to think that people would be locked up for just expressing their views and trying to get a better way of life. And sadly, these events in this world are kind of echoing this right now. We never seem to learn from our mistakes. Inside the cell of Amelia Dyer, a notorious 19th century child killer, murdering hundreds of babies in a practice called baby farming. Wow. She would murder babies entrusted to her care. So here we are in A wing, which was predominantly a women's wing until the start of the 20th century. And the reason why this is so small is because the lane that we walk down to get here is just outside. But the prisoners had no idea of that, and it's got one of the highest exterior walls of any jail in the country. It's 75 feet high. Some good facts. Right folks, we're coming to the end now, and this is literally the end, because we are now in the execution area. So we have the condemned man cell here. Obviously the window to keep in isolation, just to make sure they don't try and top themselves beforehand. And then across the way would be the executioner's accommodation. But yeah, this room was built around World War II, I believe. Walk out, and here it is. Obviously the noose would be there. Condemned would stand there. And then this floor would drop out, and that would be it. And there were a few, but look at it. There we are. Midnight 42, September 45 was used by US military as a headquarters. Double number of executions, bloody hell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's quite a few there. Some of these were returned back to the US to serve out jail time, but some did get the rope. So I am now in C wing. And on the right hand side is alleged to be the cell of the Cray twins. So, apparently there's no historical record of which cell they were in, but they were kept here, and it is suggested that they were kept in this room, so cell block room 6. I assume not together, but you never know, there may be the bunk bed in you, who can say? But yeah, there's a lot more people about, so I don't think I will be exploring the rest of the cell block, but yeah, this has been cool. We have literally exited via the gift shop and we're now by a prison van. So let's give you a quick guided tour. So obviously a driver up front. Then I assume you'd have the attending officer there. Holding cell number 1. Holding cell number 2. Not much leg room. I gotta say, if you go over 6 foot tall, you're gonna be struggling in there, but if you're committed to the crime, you're doing the time. So there's room for 4. And look, and even a little mini fridge at the back. Bloody hell. Go to prison, get a beer, why not? So there we are guys, that concludes the tour of Shepton Mallet Prison. It's glad to be back after 6-7 years. Felt myself do quite a fair bit in the gift shop, but yeah, it's all part of the fun, isn't it? So now we're gonna go explore some of Somerset, head on to Wells, so that'll be the next vlog. Thanks for watching and see you again soon.